Thank you, Marty, Nada, and Leon for the industry context. Thank you for the insights on our vision, short-term and long-term, and the importance of delivering an amazing experience both to our customers and to our staff. This part now is around taking those different visions we have and showing it as a demo and hands-on with the different tools and devices we have. Please bear with me in the sense that these sessions are normally delivered face-to-face, and they can be a little bit tricky to show in a virtual setting. My name is Paul Christensen. I'm a senior technical advisor and as part of a broader team focusing both on retail and financial institutions. With firstline workers being the backbone of most industries today, we have set up a demo using our organization we call Contoso Home and Gardens. And what we want to show here is how can we deliver the best experience and value to their customers and making sure that staff members and workers have the empowerment to have ownership of their jobs and exemplify teamwork in everyday work styles. And at the same time, instead of focusing on what is important to the customer and delivering to the end user. Today we are using three different personas. We have Joanna, who is our inventory specialist. She's our inventory specialist at Contoso Home and Gardens. Her role is to ensure that the inventory is correct, shelves in the stores are fully stocked, and at the same time helping with customers. Adele Vance, she's the store manager, and her role is to manage a team of store associates and keeping them connected and aware of the task during the day, both during the days and in the weeks ahead, and making sure that all the shifts are set up accordingly and we have staff allocated to those shifts. Megan Bowen, she's our director of our stores, and she oversees all the stores in her regions and communicate with them to make sure that they're all connected and on the same page at what we are trying to deliver. So let us follow Joanna, Adele, and Megan and how they use our platform to quickly communicate, share information, collaborate, and at the same time, when we're out in the stores, how do we make sure they have access to the latest learning and training, and that is empowered and shown through Microsoft Teams. What we want to deliver is a customized, tailored experience to staff specific to their role and nothing else there to distract them. When we see Microsoft Teams, it's around customizing the tool, the instant messaging, the shift work, the HR informations in one tool so they have access to it fast and don't have to switch between applications. But at the same time, what we really want to achieve is this hands-free heads-up mentality where the tools that you provide your organization is specifically to their roles and duties and nothing else. That enables workers such as Joanna to spend less time on their phones and more time with customers and products. So as a next step, what I want to do is take you through the day in the life of Joanna. Joanna, who is our inventory specialist and a store associate at our demo tenant Contoso. Joanna wakes up and begins her day like any other. She grabs a cup of coffee and a bite to eat, and she logs into Microsoft Teams from a mobile device to check if there's any update or important messages from her team prior to heading into work. The ability for her to know who is on staff, what is needed for her shift, is really empowering her to have a sense of control and ownership of her day so she can come to work prepared and engaged. When Joanna starts her day by arriving at the store, what she will do is open Teams on either her own device or on a shared device. So let's have a look at what that could look like. So here we have the Samsung X-Cover device. And for me, it's really the cool functionality on this one is that on the left-hand side, it has a dedicated walkie-talkie button. So in Microsoft Teams, there's now a feature where that it can function as a walkie-talkie. So you associate that with a specific team and channel. And then every time I press that button, it works like in the old school walkie-talkie. Everyone associated to that team and channel will hear what I'm saying. But let me show you that in a second. Firstly, what we can do is we can open the Microsoft Teams to get an insight to what does our day look like. If someone here is not familiar with Microsoft Teams, it's a collaboration tool from instant messaging, sharing applications, co-collaborating on whiteboards. It even have call functionality and, as mentioned, the Neo walkie-talkie functionality, so we can actually communicate with one-to-many. On the bottom of this page, you can see activities, chat, Teams, Shift, communication, which is our Yammer. And we have access to a whole range of other tools. This could be line of business tools specific to your organization. And what we are trying to do here is making sure that Joanna has to do as little switching between applications to have access and insights to what she needs to do to fulfill her tasks. So in the first case, when I wake up, for example, and in this case, Joanna, what we want to do is go into activities, and this is what has changed throughout the night, what has, or between shifts, what have changed, has I been called out as a person? So if someone is writing instant messaging with Joanna in there and puts a highlight with an ampersand, that will be called out specifically here. So it's very easy for Joanna to see what is important, what is the important messages that I have to attend to where I have been called out specifically. Then we have chat, and this is where we can have instant messaging. And from my point of view, what is very cool here is I can write a message, and if my peers are not available to answer that straight away, they are then able to answer when available. So what I can do here is I can write a message to Megan, and we can just write hi for this one, and then we can then see it gets delivered, and Megan here can then open her instance of Teams and then write back straight away, or she can wait when it suits Megan to answer that message. Next step, of course, from here is to go into Teams, and this is where we have inside our organization, we can have our corporate Teams channel and then divide it into stores, and then different teams within those stores. And here where we have the Contoso, which is our overlaying corp, then we have the city center store, and then we can have the different channels relevant to that. So let us first start with, we came to the office, we want to check in, we want to clock in. So here we go to shift. I can see all my available shift, open shift. I can do request for changing shift. I can request vacation. But first, what I want to do is I want to clock into for today. So here I come to the office. I am now present, and I now want to check in. And now the timer starts. I am now in. I didn't have to go to another device. I can do this specific directly from my mobile device. Following having checked into my shift, I might want to look at previous timesheets. So in the upper right hand corner, we have an opportunity to see all my timesheets, edit them, confirm them, and then after I'm checked in, I can then go back and have a look at what are my current shifts. And I can see I have a shift at tomorrow from 9:30 to 5:30. That might be conflicting with something I have on, let's say a doctor's appointment. I can then go in here, open that shift. I can see details, day notes, shift notes, and at the same time, I could then, if other people was rostered on at the same time, I could see who would be rostered on for that specific shift. But now I have the opportunity to go either swap my shift with a team member. So if I know that Alex would like my shift, I can then go here and swap that shift. Or what I can do is I can offer my shift up to others. So I know that I have tomorrow, I have a set number of people that I know is normally interested in capturing shifts. I can then go here and choose a certain the staff members that might want that shift. So I can offer that off, and I can then send that out. And what that now will do is my peers now have the opportunity to go and saying, actually, Joanna, I would like that shift. And what I can see here, if I click on open request, I can then see the shift that I have offered up. I can see that I have requested time off. And maybe when we want to go and look at what does time off look like. So we go back to the main screen. I click on the plus symbol. I can then set availability. if I want to say that I'm available for certain times, and my manager can then say that these times that works for Joanna, and they can then assign you easily to that shift. Or I can do the offer and swap shift, or I can go and request time off. So very easily here, I can go and say, I want to have parental leave. I need to take my son to the doctor, and that's going to be on this, let's say here, that is on the 17th. This is why I was offering my shift up. But here I can then request time off and send that off for my manager's approval. And here you can see I requested a day off, and it pending my manager's approval. So following that, I have now checked in. I can see my various shifts. I can manage my shifts. I can swap shift. I can offer shift off. I can request vacation or sick leave. I can see who others are on at the same time as me for that specific shift. I might want to go and have a look at what training do I have upcoming, what training is required, is there any new learnings that I have to go and conduct this month. So what I want to do is I want to go back to Teams, I want to go to learning and onboarding, but maybe at this stage I want to swap from my mobile device. I'm in the office. I have kiosk devices standing around, or I might even have my own laptop there or desktop there. So let me show what that looks like. So here what I have is I have a laptop on my right hand side and continue my experience on the left hand side on my mobile device. And as you can see here, it's a very consistent user experience regardless of what platform and device that I'm on. On the right hand side, I see a bit more rich information. I can see the channels and information at the same time. So here, for example, I can now go and see that I have training videos available within Stream. So Stream is our platform. Stream is our platform for anything from our all hands, recording Teams meetings, training material. And the cool thing with this platform is that when you upload a video, so in this case here, I go and click on the link. It brings me to Stream. It brings me to the group specific that I belong to. And here I can see the different videos that is relevant, the different training materials. But if I start recording my meetings, as an example, when you go back and if you missed a meeting this morning, it is not an issue because we can now record all our meetings. And while the meeting might be an hour long, what I can do here is I can actually go and do a search inside that video. So as the meeting is completed, what I will do is upload that video to Stream. Stream will start transcribing that, and we can actually now do a search on that audio file. So if I have specifically project that I want to search up on or listen to, so I can, for example, do a search on Halloween, and it will then say, Joanna, 7 minutes and 50 seconds in is where Halloween is mentioned for the first time. Click here and it will take you to that specific time that word is mentioned. And what that does is, of course, is minimizing the amount of time that we have to use on finding information. So let me just put in the password here. So very easy way to find what training is required, and easy way to search inside those kind of video files. So as a next step of being into Stream, watching training videos, catching up on meetings that I might have missed, I can now go and join a meeting. So I have a 6 p.m. meeting coming up. So what I do is I go to my calendar, and as you can see, the user experience is very similar. So here the calendar is under the recent applications. So I go to calendar here on my laptop, and I can go to calendar on my mobile device. A very similar experience. We can see we had a daily stand up at 4, And I have a 6 p.m. call here, and I can now go and join this call. So at the same time as joining the call, it will highlight who has been invited, what have they responded to that, and what was the response. So Megan, Adele, and Lee. But here, no one is on the call, but what we can then do from a secondary part is quickly write here, my job, I can see here Megan is writing, my apologies, I won't be able to attend that specific meeting. So very easy and intuitive to see and use. And I can then go here and just to give a quick thumbs up so that Megan knows that it's all good, and we can then book in another meeting. When we have a meeting, I can now go and see participants. I can have a chat, and here you can see Megan have said that she won't be able to attend. We have some non-verbal cues. And this is very important when we look at, for example, a presentation like this. I can go in and give verbal cues to the presenters. I can go and say, I like the presentation, I applaud, we are all good, whatever the topic is, and I want to raise my hand. And what happens when I raise my hand is that the other participants can now see that I have something that I want to raise. Equally, I can create breakout rooms. So if we're in a session where you have 10 people and you want to split them up in 4 groups, very easy to do today. So you click breakout groups either automatically, or I can then say I want these 4 in this group, 2 in this group, etc. Then next I have the options for different meeting options, meeting notes, gallery, and we can now have different options for this. So if there was multiple people, I can choose a gallery preview or together mode. Background effects, so this is a great way to blur your background, or you can put in your company wallpaper there, so it gives a consistent messaging depending on who the staff members are talking to. I can turn on live captions and I can start a recording. Similar, I can use a dial pad if I want to call someone in with a landline or mobile number. And very easily here, start stop video, start stop audio, and share content. But let me leave the call here. It's a very easy way to check your calendar, see what meetings you have. Very easy to join or edit. So very easy and consistent user experience regardless of what device that I'm on. So as I'm closing up my day, I might want to go and have a look at the latest information coming out of Corp or HR. What we have here is Yammer or communities. And on the left hand side of here of this tool, we can then go and see the different communities we have. And here we have anything from leadership teams to all of company, and we can create our own communities. And of course, similar to Teams, we can put an approval process into place, where that if someone want to create a Teams channel, they have to raise a request. They have to put in the details around what is that team going to be, who's going to be part of it, and we can then have a team that make decisions on whether or not we want to create that team. Similar on communities within Yammer, we can have the same process where we make sure we ask the relevant teams, we have a flow in place for accepting our new community, or of course you can keep it open to everyone depending on what your company wants to do. But what is interesting here is that, for example, I can then go to my community leadership, and if there's been any conversation, so we had an all hands, and me, Joanna, I saw there was an initiative for new training being implemented, and I didn't want to ask when is that going to be implemented, Q3, Q4. You can then see here Megan can then agree or ask other questions, and we can then go and like responses or reply back to those. And similar, she can go and like ours. So if I on Megan's phone, I can go here and press like, and in a second we should see that being reflected on the initial message here. It's a very seamless way to have a one-to-many corporate conversation or one-to-many information sharing, and it empowers then staff members to respond, to ask questions very easily. And while Joanna was catching up on training and corporate news, Joanna had to turn her attention to the gardening center where she's been informed that there is a broken container of pesticides. And for spills like this, it can be dangerous in many ways. And maybe not everyone on the team or no one on the team is certified to rectify or handle an accident like this. So as an inventory specialist, she's not quite sure what to do about the spill, but thankfully she knows what group to engage with. So she goes to the teams specifically for the gardening center. She can then go to gardening. And while she doesn't know the person, she knows the contact group. So what we can do here is we write an ampersand, so we reach out specifically to a team or a person. We write hazmat, and then we can then insert the message or write the message that we want to deliver to the hazmat team. And send that off. At the same time, what we can do with that message is we can highlight a priority. We can set that to important priority. We can attach files, images to that specific message. So it's very easy for the hazmat team to see where is the accident, how big container was broken, and how should they manage that, how many people should they send down. Joanna now turns to her task application to ensure that she finishes everything before she is ending her shift. The task application, as you can see here, highlights her task and to-dos. Her task is classified as important, planned, and assigned to me. At the same time, she can see the shared planners. So here she can see specifically for the store she's in right now, what are the tasks which is important, who are they assigned to, and the priorities. But let us first go back to the task which has been assigned to me. So one of the ones was determine decorations. This is due in a few days, so I better make sure that I'm actioning this. So here I can then see the people that I'm collaborating with on this task. I can see the bucket and progress. I can see the priority and when we started and when we are expected to deliver on this specific action point. So what I can go in here and do is I can add an item, I can add an attachment. So I can now go and say I have a file that I want to attach here, and I want to go to documents. I already have a list of the decorations that which is required. I can now go and attach that file. I can now go and say that the latest update comments, decoration sorted. And file is attached. And now I can send this off to the various stakeholders, and they can now see that I have attached the files specific to the details. And I can actually now go and say this should be set to completed and progress to be completed. So they would then be automatically updated in my task list. So here now, these are no longer assigned. This has been a completed task. Similar, under my shared planner, I can go in and see what are we working on as a team. Shift old product to clearance, ensure all lows and outs are addressed, and train new cashier in checkout. And I can now then assign these different tasks. So here I might want to assign this to Megan. And I can then do that here, and I can then choose which of my staff members should be attached to that. And then that is automatically assigned. I can say that's an important task and when that is due. So very easy to manage and complete tasks. And you can even create a new list or plans here, regardless of that is specific to me or it's part of our team's activity. One of the tasks that was assigned to me was to order new inventory. So what we do is we use Microsoft Teams as a platform. And what we have here is a way to use the integrated way of adding applications into the platform. What we have done here is we have taken a line of business application, and this could be any application within your organization that you want to make sure that it's easily discoverable, easily usable, within a certain channel. So here we are taking the inventory and receiving channel, and we now have access to this application through this link here, or we can go up here and choose that specific application. So let us go and see here. So this is what the application looks like. I can now order different systems or devices. And what I need to do here is I need to order 30 more chargers. And the specific charger I'm looking for is DG2000. So I can see here I now only need 30. So I can see the cost price of each unit and the shipping cost as well. And if I want to then sign that, I can now say here, this is Joanna, Joanna H. And I can submit that request. After Joanna finishes her inventory task, she moves on to fulfilling custom orders. And as she is doing that, a customer approaches her and tells her that his curbside pickup isn't where he was expecting and where the customer service told him it would be. He's also highlighting that while he ordered a silver grill, he would prefer to have the black grill he saw on the company website. Joanna can easily see that we don't carry the black grill in this store, but she will make sure she will reach out to the other stores to see that they have the black grill in stock. So what Joanna can do easily is use the walkie-talkie feature to collaborate or communicate with her co-workers, not only in the store but also in other stores. So on the left-hand side here, you can see the walkie-talkie application. So that is available via the 3 dots, and here we can see the walkie-talkie as the second option. I have configured this to be in the customer service channel. So what I can now do is I press this key, the button in the middle, or I can use the button that this phone have on the left-hand side to trigger asking other people around the country. So I can then press the button here. I can now ask a question to the various stores. And after I've done that, we now have the opportunity for other stores to reply. So here we can now have Megan. And Megan will now reach out and highlight to Joanna that is available in her store. Joanna can now tell the customer to go to that store, or the opportunity is that we can actually transfer that black grill to this store. Following that, the customer has been advised that the grill they can go to another store to get the black grill, or we can transfer the grill to the current store. They would like to provide some customer feedback. So what the option here is, we now put under customer service. So via either the mobile device or on their laptop, they can now go to the customer service, go to more applications, and we can now fill in some customer feedback. So very easy, and again, this is a power application. So it's very easy for both you as the staff member and as the customer to provide feedbacks easily and consistently. And then following that, we can then track customer sentiment, etc., based on that feedback. Now that it's the end of Joanna's day, what you'll do is go back to shifts, see that she is still checked in, and she can now finish that shift. So you can then long press on the stop key here, and she has now completed that shift, so you can see exactly how long she was in the store for, the start and stop time. So now a very easy way for her to start her day with catching up using Teams on the latest information around her shift. She can, when she comes to the store, she can check in, use multiple devices from her mobile device to a kiosk device to her own desktop or laptop, and then follow that workflow throughout the day to the actions she has to require, tasks, filling in and supporting customers using walkie-talkie functionality, and in the end filling in customer feedback, and then using the Teams application and the shift application here to then check in and out of that shift. So that was a full day of Joanna's day in a life of. Next steps is to have a look at how does this process look from a store manager point of view? We work with Joanna throughout her day in the life of from reading her latest information in the morning prior to going to the office, to going into the office, to checking into that location, to use Teams on several devices throughout the day, and then clocking out in the afternoon. So now using Adele, we're going to see what it looks like from a store manager point of view. As the store manager, Adele starts her day with managing her team's schedule for the coming weeks. One of the first things she does is to check any shifts request. So as the manager, Adele receives all requests that her employees are submitting for time off, vacation time, sick time, and any different changes to their schedules. She also sees requests for open shift and shift swaps. So let us go to shifts. And what we'll see here is the different shift that is available. We see the different team members, and we can then go to requests here, and we can see here that Joanna has requested time off. And what this shows is that this specific request will create our shift conflict. But let us approve the request, and then we are going to see if there's any of the other team members that has time to take the shift. So I can now go to the specific day. I can then say I want to keep an eye on this specific shift because we are making changes. I can then go on here and say the shift is on the 18th. It is from 9:30 to 5:30. But actually what we can then do is, in addition to that, is I can then go and divide it into different time slots. So I would say here we need a garden stocker required, and that is from 9:30 to 11:30, and then we required. And we need a cashier from 11:30 to 5:30. And I can now then say done, and we can actually so we can see a difference here. And now I can then share this with my team. And then the teams can then say, I can do the first shift or second shift, or someone can then sign off for both shifts. Equally, then we want to take the opportunity to praise our staff members. And how we would do that is we can then go back to Teams. We can then in customer service here, create a new message. And I can now then click on the praise button and say, when we now have different badges we can assign here. So I can then say leadership. I then want to give Joanna a leadership praise. So, hi Joanna, thank you for the amazing leadership during the pesticide spill in the gardening center. So very easy way to make sure we always show praise to our team members. The next step is around how do we make sure when we have a number of different nationalities on our team that occasionally they want to write in their native language. So what we have is a real-time translation service that and if we go to general here, we can see Megan has written a message to us in Chinese. The option we have here is we can now go and translate this message. And what it says, hi Adele, any chance we have any spare of the new gardening book you mentioned at our team phone call? So I can then write back, hi Megan. Certainly. I'll make sure you get one next time I see you in the office. So an easy way to make sure that regardless of what language people are writing in, we now have the option to translate that message. And we can go back here and then say, see the message in the original language. And as a manager, I want to go and have a look at what tasks are currently being managed, which tasks are open, which ones don't have resources allocated to complete those. So here what we can see is, first of all, similar to Joanna, I can see tasks, I can see what is important, planned, and which one has been assigned to me. But equally important, as a team, I can now see the different stores. I can see what open tasks are available and which one hasn't been assigned. But we can now show this information in different ways. So some people like the lists, other likes similar to a Kanban board. So I can see the to-do list, I can see what we need to have completed, and we then put this into different buckets. So store execution, management, gardening, plumbing, and electrical. And then what I want to do is I now want to see from this list which ones have not been assigned. So now I can easily see that we need to train out a new cashier for the checkout. I can click on this, and now that I know how good that Alex is at this specific task, I can now assign this task to Alex. I can say, Alex, I would like to have this completed by Friday. And if you wanted to, we can add some commentary, add attachments, etc. And now that task has been assigned. And similar, we can go down to the electrical, complete the electrical work, and we want to make sure that we have a number of different Deborah and myself assigned, and we want to then write here collaborate on finding the right org to complete the task. Send. So easy way to manage our tasks. The last persona we're going to be showing today is Megan Bowen. And as the director of our company, Contoso Gardening, she will have access to all the same tools as Adele and Joanna. The potential only difference is that as the director, I'm more interested in the high picture view. I want to see what task is outstanding, what is pending, what don't have any owners, and then I want to use Power BI for insights to different things such as stock management, customer satisfactory. So let us have a look at what that could look like. As a director, I still have access to exactly the same information as a frontline worker and the store managers. But what I'm going to do as a director is take a bit more of a top-down view and a consolidated view of the activities going on. At the same time, of course, I want to go and make sure that all the task is prioritized. The task we have is all been assigned, and we do have a priority and a due date attached to those. And if not, I can then engage with Adele, the store manager, to find out the reason behind why those haven't been assigned and why there's no due date. But then from a business point of view, I want to use Power BI to have a look at what is going on within inside our organization. For us, one of the challenges we have had was around customer feedback and customer score. So what we did was as the demo here, we implemented a practice to improve our customer score. And what this dashboard will show us is that in around week 4, we implemented a practice on improving our customer service rating. And as we spend time on implementing that, and by week 7, we have implemented and practiced our changes to the service rating, we actually saw a significant decrease of the customer complaints. So as we are finishing up, I just want to recap on the 3 different personas. So we started out with Joanna, the inventory specialist, the frontline worker, the tools that she had available for her to manage her day, from getting up, making sure she was up to date prior to getting to the office. What was the workflow throughout that day to finishing up? Then we went to Joanna, the store manager, the tools that she was using to managing tasks, engaging with her team, praising her teams, and then finishing up on Megan and how she used Power BI to get insight to how the organization worked. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience throughout the demo. Normally, and we are looking forward to be hosting you face-to-face in the Microsoft Technology Center in Sydney. But this was the way we could deliver this as a virtual engagement. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Paul, for that great session. In summary, I'd like to thank everybody for joining today. It has been a very, very valuable session. In terms of next steps and what you want to get out for going forward, we have a few kind of call to actions that I'd like to go through. The first one is we have some great partners that we want to put forward to you guys to organise a workshop for you. As you can see up on the screen now, we have some partners including Antares, Adopt and Embrace, 5P, Avanade, Engage and Live Tiles. I'd also like to bring to your attention a great Harvard Business Review paper that really delves deep into the frontline workers. I also want to bring your attention to our Microsoft Retail Innovation Club. This club is running for the next 8 weeks. We have gone across the globe and have chosen 28 partners that are really inspiring the retail industry across the globe. And lastly, we would love for you to reach out to myself and to my colleague Rhys Gallagher if you would like to delve deeper into the session that we had today.